got some controversy here, guys. What's happening, guys? I'm Dan, and I'm back with another craft brew review. Today, guys, we are talking, unfortunately and fortunately, Founders Brewing Company. This is the CBS 2019 release, guys. This is apparently the last time they are going to be doing this beer for further notice, so to speak. So don't know if this will ever be done again. So here we are today. Let's talk about a more serious issue other than this beer, guys. Yes, we're going to get to this review today, so thank you for joining me. If you haven't, guys, please subscribe to my channel. I'm always up to date with a lot of beer, especially Michigan beer, and many others. So hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. But anyways, thank you for joining me today, guys. We are going to talk about the controversial happenings of Founders Brewing as of late, guys. You all have heard of it in the news, especially you guys in the beer game. It's a very serious issue and a very serious matter that was taken to the court level, honestly. So I did have a cheat sheet because there's a lot going on and I didn't know a bunch about it. So I tried to read up a little bit on the details. So let's kind of talk about this. So this kind of starts with Tracy Evans, who was an employee at Founders Brewing, guys. He actually started as a production lead in the packaging department at Founders Grand Rapids. And then later, the events and promotions manager in Detroit. So that's how he ended up at the Detroit location. I believe it's a man, too. I'm not 100% on that. But again, guys, I didn't read a bunch of the fine details. I think it's a man. And he was racially discriminated in his defense. So he filed a formal complaint in 2017. And he actually filed a second one in 2018, I want to say, and a few days later, he was actually fired from his job. So he had two formal complaints about racist internal culture. You know, they're using incorrect words towards him, and he felt very threatened and uncomfortable. And you know, guys, nobody should have to go through something like that. That's wrong for this day and age. And even back in the day, I know it was more acceptable, if you will, but that's not okay. We have to respect one another. We're all equal human beings, and that's wrong in a workplace for somebody to be treated that way. Obviously, it turned into a big lawsuit at Founders that he kind of rebelled back and deservingly, you know, went after them in the court system. So before that all happened, guys, let's talk about it. We have the two owners of Founders that are the most well-known, and let's see. Let me look for them here. I think it's Mike Stevens and Dave Engers, don't know how to say it. But they ended up selling a large portion of Founders quite a while ago, guys. And then they sold an additional 59% in last August. So it wasn't that long ago. It was a few months ago or so. And I think they only hold about 5% of the company at this point in time. So that's kind of crazy that those guys decided to actually sell off the majority and then even more. I think they had, this isn't known, but I think they had to have knowledge of what was going to follow in the coming months after this lawsuit, because it was filed in 2018. So that was last year, guys. I mean, we're almost going into 2020 at this point. So this was well known by the Founders uppities, you know, all the executives and all that, long before it hit the news or got leaked. So these guys probably saw this coming, and they saw that as a great opportunity to get out while they still could, so to speak. They did sell to, what's his name? He's the Spanish guy, Mahu San Miguel for, you know, we're talking almost $200 million that this guy, you know, bought the majority of Founders for, guys. That's an incredible amount of money. No matter what you want to say about this lawsuit, Founders is like the top 14th brewery in America. We're not just talking about Michigan, in America, because they distribute so much at such a high level. So respect to that, guys. To the straight beer game, that's straight respect. What else do we have here? Founders is actually still up in sales. Technically, don't know what's going to transpire as of late when they actually analyze the data of who's been dropping them, because it seems like a vast majority of people have been dropping them, guys, from their shelves, from their tap rooms, not getting their kegs anymore, not getting all-day IPA. Tell me what you think. Is that right? I don't know, guys. I don't know the answer. I'm not here to justify it like I do. I'm here with CBS because it's just a hell of a beer. We're talking about just respect for beer. I'm not saying it's okay to respect racial discrimination. I am anti that 100%. But if we're talking beer respect, I love this beer, and this is the last time it's going to come out, supposedly, guys. So, that's why I'm reviewing it. I'm here to review beer. That's what this channel's about. But I'm also discussing this problem as of late. So actually, while all this was happening, I guess Founders also hired Gracie. Forgive me, guys. I don't know the names, but Gracie Harkema. I don't know her name because I can't read my own writing. But she was supposed to be hired in as the director of diversity, kind of to pave the way on what to change in their corporate culture, what to improve with respect to one another and kind of cultural differences and all that good stuff. So that's a great move by Founders, correct? Well, it ended up not being a good move because the day she got hired, she actually quit, and I think her last day is November 8th. She put in, 2 weeks or whatever she did, and she was quoted as saying executives are more concerned with winning the lawsuit than the company well-being, and employee well-being and customer satisfaction and all that. So, is this true, guys? Most likely. I mean, Founders is a huge corporation. Of course they don't want to sink, There's a lot of people that don't deserve to go down with the ship, if they had nothing to do with why it broke. So, let's take that into consideration. But yeah, they were probably concerned with winning the lawsuit, and I think they've even been quoted as saying they were very confident that they would win the lawsuit. Let's fast forward a little bit. The manager, the GM that fired Mr. Evans, or Tracy Evans rather, if you will, his name was Dominic Ryan. So again, he's the general manager of probably the Detroit tap room, I'm assuming. To add to the fire, he was quoted as saying he was unaware of lineage or DNA of people such as like Michael Jordan and Barack Obama, Kwame Kilpatrick. Now, that started a shitstorm pretty much, because it's like, how do you not know if someone's white, black, Asian, whatever? How do you not know? Well, he was also probably instructed to say nothing, and that's kind of what he did, which became a slap in the face pretty much to the people around him, and the public took that a very negative way. I mean, as you would, you don't know someone's African American. I get what he's trying to say is he's not judging, cool, but people took that the wrong way, and that actually started a fire. It was adding gasoline to the fire kind of thing. So that made things worse. He probably shouldn't have said that, but again, higher ups than him probably told him to keep his mouth shut, don't say anything that would be described as, even more racially charged or in a negative context of racial discrimination. So he kind of either messed that one up or hit it right on the head, guys. I don't know, you decide on that one. But let's fast forward a little bit. I know I've been rambling, but this is a very hot topic, guys. Big discussion. I'm going to get to this review. I'll probably timestamp this so you don't have to listen to this whole discussion if you don't want to. But let's fast forward to today. I was actually planning on doing this review yesterday. I'm glad I didn't because I actually wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this, guys. I was thinking, is this something I should even talk about? Who am I? But it's part of the beer world. It's a big part of life, and I think we need to come together as human beings and kind of have some remorse and sympathy for one another. And it's a big lawsuit that occurred here. So we're fast forwarding. Today's Thursday. I'll drop this video tonight. Apparently, as of like an hour ago or so, the lawsuit was settled, which I didn't see this coming today, but they were pushing forward, Founders was, very quickly to get this taken care of. And again, they were demanding that they were going to be correct, and apparently they did win the lawsuit, guys. So they agreed on a common ground with Mr. Evans to make amends, and quotation marks, we agreed that nobody be viewed as fault here. So they literally settled for undisclosed amount, I'm assuming. Didn't really read the details of that. It was short, but I think it said undisclosed amount, and, you know, they got a settlement of saying nobody's at fault. So Mr. Evans agreed to that, guys. As of right now, this is kind of the most up-to-date video I'm sure you're going to see on it, besides the news. So I'm kind of just being a journalist for the beer world right now, as in describing what just happened. So they're quoted as saying they're focusing on the future and kind of rebuilding all the relationships with all the people that they've lost or anybody they've hurt. So as a company, they are looking to rebuild and kind of remarket themselves in a good way, guys. What are you going to do? It's Founders. They're huge. There's a lot of people that were not to blame here. So this is where I'm going to step in and say, what's correct? Do you buy their products or do you stop completely? Now that this is settled, what's the right answer, guys? There's no doubt that some people are to blame here, and some high-up guys are to blame, and even some people that Mr. Evans worked around. That's not okay to act that way. Whatever happened for those few incidents, or maybe there was even more that we don't know about. I don't know the details. I'm just speaking on what I know. But it's not okay to work in an environment like that and be surrounded by that and be a part of that. I understand this concept, and we need to respect one another. But do you stop buying the product and hurt the company as a whole and take down everybody else who had nothing to do with it? All these guys that have jobs in the tap rooms, all the guys that work in the back, clean up the do the brewing process and then just clean up for the brewers, and all the distributors and everybody involved with distributing, do you hurt them because of a select few people that made poor decisions? Do you stop buying the products and sink the company, or try to sink the company based on a few people's bad decisions, very poor decisions that were not correct to do? You know, I'm going to leave that up for discussion for you guys. Hit the comment section, guys. This is a big deal in the beer world and in the world in general. We're in 2019 still talking about racial discrimination. It's not okay. It's not okay. So that was a lot going on that I just said here, guys. There's probably a lot more things I should have said and I can't think of right now, and there's more I should tackle on. But you know what? I'm going to leave it to you guys in the comment section down below. Go ahead and let me know what your opinion is on this. Would you buy CBS? Will you be buying any more Founders going forward, or are you just going to try to sink this company like I'm starting to see all around me, guys? So moving on. Timestamp right there. So we're talking about CBS, guys. It is different this year. This is, again, I think the last time this will be released. And I'm sad to say that, because beyond all the incidents and all the problems with Founders, guys, you got to respect the beer game. This is one of the most respected beers in the world. Founders CBS, Canadian Breakfast Stout. Imperial Stout brewed with chocolate and coffee, aged in maple syrup, bourbon barrels. It's the Godfather, guys. It's the Godfather to KBS. We've all had this beer, but it varies very differently. Not very differently, very slightly each time they've done it. So this sucker is now available in 4-pack bottles, which is a great move, I think. Last year it didn't move that well. I think it got stuck on a lot of people's shelves. It lost a lot of the hype. People were kind of sick of it. There's a lot more players in the game that bring their own beer to the table for a competitive price that's even lower than what Founders is doing. This year, I think the lowest you're going to see this 4-pack, unless they're clearancing it because they can't sell it, is going to be $22.99 for a 4-pack, and I think it's going to be, you know, more of a markup since it's a unallocated beer, if you will. So we're working with the 12-ounce bottle, guys, this year, which is a great move, like I said, because this way you don't have to invest $25 into a huge bomber, and then if you can't share it with anybody, you're stuck with all that alcohol. Nobody wants that. They just want to drink their own beer, and you can even still share this 3 ways easily. So good move, Founders. I see what you did with this. This is the 2019 release. It was bottled on 10/4/19. It is 11.3% alcohol, guys, and the label is the same as last year with no Ranger on the horse because they had to change from 2017 to 2018. So let's stop flapping and get going on tasting some beer, because we've been talking like crazy. I'm actually like parched from talking so much. Let's check it out, guys. Nice hiss on this beer. Absolutely beautiful hiss. The standard barrel-aged cap underneath. Gold cap, Founders Brewing on the top. Get that out of there. This has been room temperature since yesterday, so it has seen no fridge. It is about as room temperature as it's going to get here, guys. So pouring out a watery tar darkness, beautiful dark khaki brown head on her. Where do I even put this? I don't even know. Almost like a tinge of like burnt cinnamon kind of around the edges. Obviously it doesn't have cinnamon in it, but we're getting that dark, sandy, compacted, super fluffy, tight, bubbly head, guys. Literally about 2 fingers of head easily with compacted bubbling all inside, kind of dissipating as it's 11.3%, but it's darkness, you know. I don't really see, maybe just a tinge of like this almost like dark cherry at the bottom, but it's pretty much darkness, guys. You're not seeing through this beer. But absolutely gorgeous in the glass, guys. Like I said, poured like almost a watered down tarish. It doesn't look like it's too syrupy, but it's definitely a thick, sudsy, compacted beer, guys, with a lot of action going on inside it. Let's go to an aroma, since my video is going to be 45 minutes long at this point. Great bourbon barrel presence. Some roasted malts and barley going on in there. Just a beautiful milk chocolatey roasted coffee espresso bean goodness, guys. Just absolutely stellar nose on this to begin with. I haven't really had bourbon barrel aged beers as of late. This is a hell of a way to start off the winter, since it did just snow in northern Michigan today. Not much, but yeah, that signature CBS, that sweet maple syrup in there underlying, you know, all of that roasted coffee, espresso. Again, milk to dark chocolate in there. Just great notes of bourbon hitting all over the senses, guys. Beautiful nose on her. Let's go to a taste. This is the 2019 controversial CBS. Cheers, guys. That barrel's very apparent in this beer. Really, really showing off. It almost stings you. It comes across real fierce. It almost seems like it's going to be really, really hot in the first sip. But it calms into a nice roasted dark chocolate, coffee, maple syrup goodness sliding down your throat, guys. I really like the way it comes off as like a milk chocolate / dark chocolate, maybe some kind of mixture of both. Mixing with that maple syrup in there, just this beautiful sweetness that's complemented with this heat from that barrel, guys. That bourbon barrel just really punching through that roasted coffee and that chocolate. It's just mixing together very, very nicely, just complementing each other. Going down very, very smooth at a warm temperature right now. It's just very smooth. Not a burn in sight, guys. I mean, slight warming in the chest, but very, very easy drinker at 11.3. The mouth feels light. It's a little bit lighter than you probably want to see in a bourbon barrel aged stout. But again, instead of dinging this, for me, that makes this beer extremely drinkable, since it's a high-octane beer with all these adjuncts in there. It makes it so pleasant when it's a little bit lighter, not so syrupy and thick and death tar and just sliding down your throat like sludge, guys. It has a nice watery in a good way presence that just goes together for drinkability for me. I mean, it's just a spectacular beer. I see great lacing hanging on. Just a tinge of like, you know, kind of like a dark burnt sugary. It gives you that appearance that it, and the taste of like burnt sugar with roasted coffee, like maple syrup, mixture of medley goodness, guys. This is a very well balanced CBS. Stellar barrel on this show in itself. Kind of chewy decadence to it. Mouth feels phenomenal for me. Probably hint light for most people, but for me, spectacular. It's damn good, guys. You gotta respect the beer. It's damn tasty. Again, let's not talk about just the controversy about this beer. Let's talk about the good side of this beer. That this could be the last time we see it, guys. That's sad. You know, again, it lost some of its hype, but I like that they reformatted this, restructured the packaging. It makes more sense in today's beer game to have it this way. And I think if you just pay homage to what this beer is, this is very deserving of an A+ rating and a very, very well done packaging change, in my opinion. Stellar stuff here, guys. It's CBS, guys. It's absolute CBS. If this was years ago, it'd blow me away more because there weren't as many hitters in this game, but there's a lot of people competing to make beers like this these days. This bourbon barrel age scene is huge. But if I'm just focusing on this, guys, just on this one. Stellar mouthfeel. Again, chewy, decadent, dark chocolate, espresso bean, roasted coffee, roasted molasses. It's all in there, I'm really liking the way this maple syrup. I think the maple syrup's proper in this. It's just enough to kind of play with that hot barrel, to kind of mingle together in a good way where they kind of calm each other down. That heat and that sweetness and that roasted coffee kind of just blends together in a really nice way, guys. It just makes a very, very enjoyable 11.3 bourbon barrel aged stout. Super drinkable. Probably one of the most drinkable beers at 11.3 I've ever had in my life. That's big points for me, in my opinion. Rating. This is the last one we're ever going to see, guys. I'm sad. It's just about all there. You could ding it for a few things. But for me, guys, 4.7. No, let's readjust. Hold on. 4.6 out of 5. I'm going 4.6. Excellent stuff, guys. It's just properly well done. Let's not forget how good these guys are. The brewers, they just know how to do this and execute great beers, especially bourbon barrel aged beers. They're just getting it done in the right way, guys. You gotta respect the beer game. We're talking about beer here. 4.6 out of 5. This has been one hell of a talk with you guys. I hope, whoever watched this all the way through, please let me know, because I want to just know if there's anybody out there that watched 20-some minutes of this discussion, plus the review. I respect the hell out of you guys. Any of you that watch my channel, thank you so much. It means the world to me, and I thank you so much for joining me today on this controversial discussion and CBS 2019 review. This is the end of my night, guys. Again, thank you so much. Like, share, subscribe. I'm Dan Darajotis. I will see you guys on the next one. Cheers!